Hi folks, this is Vicki at patternprincess.com. Today I want to show you how it is to work with a real thick fuzzy yarn that I've made the bear hat in. In fact, I'm in the process of making it yet. I have my two little ears that have to go on, and then I have my two spots. I've just measured from the middle of the hat out to the edge to see, I think this was about 8 inches across here. And so then I measured 2 inches from each side of the middle, and that's where I'm going to place my ears and sew those on, but I'm going to show you that as well. But I wanted to show you how it is to work with this yarn. I will show you how to work the pattern in a yarn you can actually see, but so it's going to be hard, and it is hard for me to see these stitches, but sometimes it's just nice to see how, when we tell you, you have to feel the stitches, this is how we do it. So I have my slip knot on here. In fact, this one here, I don't hold my yarn normally either. I normally slip my yarn through my finger this way and roll it over this way. But instead, what I'm going to do with this is I just hold it like this, and I hold the other bottom part in my hand just a little bit because I find that it doesn't slide as well. When we start this pattern, we do a chain 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't see those stitches to save myself, but I know that if I go in close to here, that has to be the first chain. Okay, so I'm going to put my yarn through, just do my slip stitch. That creates a circle that we're going to work in. So that we can work in, we can do that. So we're going to do a chain 3, which does count as a double crochet. There's 3. And then we're going to be working inside of that circle. You got to pull apart just a little bit. And I've left the tail on. I'm just going to crochet around the tail. And I'm going to do 9 double crochet. There's 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, whoop, I'm getting my tail in the way, 8, and then there's 9. This completes the first round. What we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch, and you can kind of feel your way there. I'm pulling this apart to feel that first stitch. You see that? And I'm going to find my loops here. Come on. That's sometimes the hardest part. There it goes. And now I'm going to slip stitch. So that first double crochet counted, or I should say my first chain 3 counted as a double crochet. So that means that we have 10 double crochet in that circle now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to increase rounds to a certain point, because I have different hat sizes. You'll increase to, like I think it is round 5 for like a more of a baby size, row 6 for like child size. And then as you get to adult, you'll increase a little bit more, a couple more rows, and then after you do the increase, then you just do a single crochet, or I should say a double crochet in every single stitch. What's nice about this yarn is you don't see, I still have my tail on here because I have to go do a sizing session. I measured my grandson's head, and I don't know if it's going to fit. I think it is, but you don't see where, you know, oftentimes you can see the seam where you've joined the ends. You don't see that with this fuzzy yarn. The hat looks really nice no matter how you look at it. So I think that I love that yarn for this reason. Whoops, I got my ears out here. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit here, and what we do is we do a chain 2. That I use just because it kind of hides, if you're using like just a regular yarn that's not fuzzy, it kind of helps hide that first and ending stitch. Otherwise, sometimes you can end up with a big gap. So that doesn't count as anything. Now, you can pull your stitches apart. When I'm working with this thicker yarn, I don't try and put it in the top 2 loops. I put my hook right between the stitches. So, you know, if you just find ways to work with the yarn, it works really nice. So you can feel along, and you can feel all the posts. So then you just work in between. And what we're going to do is 2 double crochet between every single one. So if we started off with 10, by the end of this row, we'll have 20. So there's 1, 2, now feel the next right there. And then I'll just continue to go around, putting 2 double crochet in each stitch. Okay, I know that my next one I can feel it is here. And so that it's pretty easy. It's like this the whole time. Once you get to the end over here, then we're going to, this was my initial chain 2. We're not going to put our slip stitch there. We're going to work it right here. So make sure when you get back to this side here, you ignore this first little spot and you work with this, because this was your first double crochet. This is just a little spot that's going to cover up a space. So then you're going to put your hook in here and work your slip stitch. When you get to your next round, it's going to tell you for round 2 to go ahead and work a double crochet in 1 stitch and then 2 double crochet in the next stitches. And I'm going to work this in regular yarn. And that's how this is going to look. And then the next stitch you're going to row, you're going to work a double crochet in the next 2 stitches and then 2 double crochet in the next, because then we're going to increase it flat until we get to the point where we're going to make it curl and then go down as a hat. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up how it is to work with this yarn, a couple tips and tricks. And then now I'm also going to do, as long as we're having this yarn out now, and I'm working on my bear hat here, and I have this marked. I've left a nice long tail. In fact, this was my starting tail. When I worked these ears, it's just single, using the same process. I did single crochets. I did first you can't even tell where I did my center chains bases and then joined them as a circle, but then I did single crochets. And then I started to increase all of my single crochets, and I kept increasing until I got to the end, and it started to curl all on its own. I didn't make it curl like that. So it was kind of nice. It's going to take shape nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my long side here of yarn. And sometimes when you thread your yarn hook, it's kind of hard, but I kind of twist it and mush it and twist it and mush it. And all of a sudden you'll get just an end that'll peek through. And then you can give, oh, come on. Oh, there you go. See how nicely that worked? Even though this is a little bit thicker yarn. And so you could pin this in place, but, oops, yeah, maybe I should. So anyways, what I'm going to do though, is you can just start working through the loops. And I'm going to remove my white yarn here so it doesn't get in the way. But that was just my like little marker spot. And I'm just going to continue to go through my yarn. I caught my other yarn in there. I could feel it catch. Okay, so now that's caught. Now I'm going to turn this. I'm going to put my hand under here so I can feel what I'm doing and hold on to what I'm doing, because I want to make sure that my ears, I'm going to want to make sure, this is the back side of my hat that I'm looking at now, but you're going to want to make sure that your ears are straight down. So I'm going to end up like this. So then all I'm going to do though is work back and forth. Okay, my hook is this way. I'll go through here. Not catch that, and then I'm going to go through the ear section and continue to work like that all the way down until you have your ear attached. Okay, and then you're going to, this is my middle part from when I started this. I'll weave that in at the end too, and I'll probably go through the ear a little bit to give a little bit of extra reinforcement. That's how you sew your ears on. Okay, but now I'm going to show you as well how to do this pattern with the Caron Simply Soft.